Greetings, family. Here is an update regarding, we'll just call it air travel for now. Okay, so we are entering into a period of time where there's going to be an increase in what's called, or what will be called, like solar flare activity. Some people might also call them plasma events, but nonetheless, it is in the divine order of things that all things artificial, all artificial intelligence systems will eventually collapse, and anything that is made with or anything that operates with we'll just say steel, metal, you know, as far as like the fuselage of an aircraft, for instance, or the rebar, the reinforcing bar, that's the steel that's put inside concrete infrastructure such as buildings and bridges and dams and things like that, will disintegrate, and eventually, you know, it'll all come down. But for the meanwhile, what caused me to make this update today was I received a voice message from a dear friend of mine in Ecuador, and she has family in Australia, and she's considering to fly there. That's what she told me. She's considering to take a flight to Australia pretty soon, in the next couple months, or next month or so. And I just want her and everybody to be aware. I might have mentioned this in a few previous videos about the artificial intelligence writ large, to include the secret military arranged radar technology, aka smart grid, and smart devices. So this is just like an update with regards to these kinds of things, and specifically with regards to air travel. So I will include a few show notes or a few hyperlinks to websites with articles talking about this now, because they're just now starting to talk about it, that I can see in the last like 6 to 8 weeks. It's starting to become more obvious. And so without going into any details, let's just suffice to say that how it's going to work. But basically, it's going to be that all things artificial are going to have to be destroyed. All things that rely upon the AI grid are going to come down, because it's an inferior intelligence. Artificial intelligence will always be inferior. But that's the way people are used to getting around now, is taking flights. Eventually it'll affect all things, including cars and buses and things like this. Anything that runs on the grid. But for now, I just want to give a shout out and let people know, if you can get on a flight, there's no guarantee that it's going to take off and land safely. In fact, and I did mention this, I don't know, maybe a year ago, so all the companies and banks and corporations and everything are all how do you say, let's just say bankrupt and put into receivership, and they are now owned and controlled by the holding companies. You might have heard of some of them. One is BlackRock, another one is Vanguard. And all the operations of said companies, so take for instance the airlines, are there's no longer an interest to provide those services or those goods or those flights, let's say. But rather, all of the airlines and their flights are now, all their operations are now placed into, like you could call ETFs, electronic, I think it's trading funds. I can't remember the exact acronym for that. But it's basically a way to bet in the stock market. It's like a hedge fund kind of thing. And they're taking bets to see which planes will fall out of the sky first. And then, of course, they make money on those bets. But anyhow, so you can't count on it, is what I'm saying. You can't count on your plane flight taking off and landing safely anymore. So just want to give a shout out and let people know that. And I'll put some links in the show notes so you can see for yourself how this is. They're just now, the media is just now starting to talk about this, it seems. In the last, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks, I just came across some articles just now to see if the press and the news is going to start telling people the truth, but at least trying to disclose some information as opposed to the entire truth. But I believe now they're calling this, maybe they're calling it like computer glitches or something like this, but yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. Everything that operates on this grid of artificial intelligence, to include the infrastructure being, let's say satellites, ground-based, fixed infrastructure, ground-based mobile infrastructure, and all of the vehicles, let's say, that operate using said so-called communication infrastructure. Is well, you're going to see satellites falling out of the sky and links going down and computer glitches and these kinds of things. But just so you know, it's has to do with what is referred to as solar flare activity. And yeah, so just bear that in mind if you book any flights, if you are planning to take any travel on airplanes. And yeah, that's it for now. Maybe I'll post a little bit more about this later, but for now I just want to get this message out to let anybody know who's trying to book a flight or make any travel arrangements using an airplane, that there's no guarantee your flight will take off or land. And it seems like before the end of the first quarter of 2026 on Caesar's calendar, fake time, so sometime within the first 3 months of this year, that all flights will be grounded after a few of the planes fall out of the sky. And that's about it. So, all the best, family. Love you very much. And I'll see you in the dream world. Ciao for now.